Welcome to Bloodbath and Beyond. Today I'll be reviewing The Rental, Secluded Getaway, Killer Views. Directed by Dave Franco in his directorial debut, starring Dan Stevens, Alison Brie, Sheila Vand, Jeremy Allen White, and Toby Huss. This movie's about two couples that rent a vacation home for what should be a celebratory weekend getaway. First off, this movie is absolutely gorgeous. Like, not only the location and this amazing looking house, but the way that it's shot and how the whole movie is shot in general. It clearly has a significant budget based on the people that are involved, but nearly every shot is beautiful to look at. Whether it's following somebody around the home or people walking on a beach, it all just feels so polished. And because this is a movie based around two couples in a house that are just trying to hang out, that are potentially being stalked by somebody, the shot types are really great for kind of capturing that voyeuristic look. The first hint of this that we see is, well, Alison Brie decides to just take it easy on their first night there. She goes to bed, and we as the audience are looking through the grate above the bed, suggesting that somebody else is in the house. And this happens quite a bit, whether it's just the long shots that they're using or looking out from behind a tree. It has a classic feel about it. The lighting and everything really reminded me of the movie The Invitation. I'm not sure if you've seen that one. That's a cool one as well. I didn't review that, but I got a lot of The Invitation vibes just from the setting alone. Maybe it's because it's just people hanging out in a house. I don't know. It just looked similar in certain settings. But the best part of this movie is the fact that these couples feel like they are couples. The acting is phenomenal. They're having their little beefs between each other. You can see like the friendly nature between them because the two guys are actually brothers. They're a little bit more playful. And throughout the movie, they get into relationship issues which are handled naturally. Like the way that you would expect somebody to act in a certain situation is exactly what the characters do in this. I was completely invested and on board with everybody in this film. The owner of this Airbnb, or the person that's looking after it, I guess, he was great because he's like this weird, rugged guy who you obviously think is the killer. And the fact that they baked in this kind of like racial bias because he declined the one girl and referred to the other girl as the white girl. There's just all these little hints that suggest that this guy is a racist and gives motive to maybe why he's not really happy about these people being in the home. Not to mention that they brought a dog along, which they shouldn't have done in the first place. But there's all these little subtleties that make you really invested in these characters and start thinking about the possibilities of a motive and why somebody who rented this home out could be mad at them and what he might be doing to get back at them. I don't intend on giving too much away about this movie. Just know that as the movie progresses, there are definitely tense situations in both social setting and physically where people might feel like they're stalked. And it's really enjoyable to see how everybody that you're now invested in can figure it all out and resolve the situation at hand. I sound so vague talking about this. I'm trying to give away as little as possible, even though I'm sure other reviews that you've already seen have spoiled some pretty major discoveries, I would say. I think the biggest issue people might have with this movie is the fact that it doesn't tie up nicely for most people's expectations. Again, I'm not trying to give too much away, but if you've seen movies like maybe Open House, I personally hated the ending of that movie, and this one is somewhat similar. I think that they did a better job in this situation. However, I can see why people would absolutely hate it. The ending is crucial, and I think that it's gonna piss people off. Thankfully, it didn't piss me off. I enjoyed the ride to get there, and I somewhat expected what was gonna happen. It's not that it's necessarily a predictable movie, but when we get there, you're just kind of like, okay, I'll take it, whatever. I will say though that I didn't love the third act. Like, this is when everything starts to come together. I don't know, it was a little lackluster for me. Nothing too crazy happened, and I think that a lot of people will have different expectations coming into this movie, especially if you're on Twitter. If you're on Twitter or you're on Letterboxd or something, and you're seeing all these rave reviews about this movie, I don't really see it. Like, yes, I enjoyed myself, but it's not the best movie of the year, and it's not top 10 worthy to me. So my expectations were a little bit higher than they probably should have been, and I think a lot of people will be disappointed simply in the fact that people are building this up as like one of the best slashers of the year already. And that truly is just not the case. Even to call this a slasher kind of teeters on the I don't think we watched the same movie kind of thing. Sure, there are elements from Halloween and other slashers, but I wouldn't call this a slasher movie. I don't know, it's kind of tough to say. Like, there are some aspects, so maybe. I kind of wish that we had more Alison Brie on drugs because she was amazing. She does some ecstasy on their second night there, and she just has a blast, and I just love her. I wanted to see more of her, and unfortunately, it gets derailed by some other bigger, more important issues that come up. So I understand why she wasn't the focus, but I did want more of her. All in all, I did enjoy this movie. I don't think it's top 10 worthy, but it was really fun. And it is a great directorial debut from Dave Franco. It's nice to see somebody that clearly has a passion for, you know, horror and thrillers and has the appropriate connections involved to get something like this going. Obviously, in the past few years, we've seen a lot of comedians get more involved in horror. I love that, and I want it to continue because as these people have the resources, why not? Try it out, and hopefully this does enough for Dave to continue to want to make more movies. I absolutely love the cinematography. I love the tension that was built through the shot types, and I really enjoyed all of our characters and their interactions. They seemed so natural, and things kind of played out how I would expect maybe I would do if I was in the situation. Except for the hot tub thing, I'm a good guy. While I did like the vagueness of the ending, I also wasn't a huge fan. It's something we've seen before with almost an identical premise within the last 2 years, so it seemed a little bit uninspired. Our slasher, so to speak, was kind of whatever, and I didn't feel that tension. I felt more tension in the social aspect than I did from the potential killer. But all that said, I did enjoy myself, and I think most people will enjoy this movie. Just don't go into it thinking it's going to be top 10 worthy, because you're gonna be let down if that's the case. And so I'm gonna give this 3.5 cute doggos out of 5. As always, thank you for watching. Like this video and comment below with your thoughts on the film if you've seen it. If you haven't and you do want to check it out, links are in the description. And if this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with everything Bloodbath and beyond.